All right, we're going to make a new pen this time, and here we are on CodePen. We're going to use some CSS on this, so we're going to make a little make a little page here. Let's just make we'll call it card. I'm just going to make a little card. So we're going to make a nice, kind of styled up little card here that could be a feature on a bigger web page. And remember, body tab, HTML tab, so we're going to work within the body of our HTML. So I'm going to make a div here. And inside of this div, I'm going to put an h1. And this would be, let's just say, it's like a little advertisement, right? They're selling skate decks. And we'll put a little h3 in here, like, we'll throw an image in here, which I'm going to, now with image, we're going to do img tab, and it's going to give us this source link. We're going to put a link in there and just put skateboard. Here's the alt text, so if the image doesn't show up, it'll show skateboard. So you can see the broken image is shown here. We're going to steal an image and place it in here off the internet, and then we'll put a paragraph, so p tab. So put some text in there, right? And it belongs in a paragraph. And so that's going to be my my entire card that we see there. So if I can expand this, I'm going to move the JavaScript off of here so we can just look at the HTML. And that's simply going to be it. Now we want to put some nice styling to this. And so I'm going to make it a card. And so there's a couple of different ways that you can select things. And the first is with what we call class selectors. So here I am inside of the div, in this closing bracket here. I'm going to put a class on here. And I like to call this a container. And it's basically, notice where my div opens and closes, down here on line 8. So from line 3 to line 8, that's my container. And now I can style this container with the dot, which represents a class, dot container. And we can start to put some key value pairs together on our styles. So dot container is my selector, and then I can use these curly brackets here, which is just you hit shift, and the curly bracket will be in the upper right hand corner of your keyboard. And I want to put on this a background color. And I like to, this is our key, and then our value would be some sort of color. So let's just do triple D, and that should give us like this gray quality color. But you can choose lots of different colors. I'll show you a color wheel that you can kind of play with. Now let's set a width on this, and let's do 500 pixels. And so that's what our card looks like right now. Let's set a height of 800 pixels. Let's do 600. Let's see what that look like. Still a little too big. Let's do 4. Why does it look so big? I don't want it to be. That. 300 is good. There we go. And I'm going to round the edges on it, but before I do that, Now, this is what it's taken up. The space is 500 pixels. So this container is taking up 500 pixels of space. And we can put a margin auto on this, and that'll center it for us nicely. And then a border radius of, let's say, 8 pixels. And it gives it that nice little like rounded edges that you see there. And now I don't like that my text is up against the edge, so let's put some padding. 10 pixels. And that kind of just gives me a little buffer there on the edges. And that's looking pretty good. Now let's do text align, center. And that puts it in the center, but you know what? I don't really want all of it to be in the center, so I think I'll end up moving this over later on in one of my other selectors. But now we've got this cool looking card where we're basically styling, and now we can throw our image in here. So I'm just going to go out to Google Images and grab a skateboard deck. And if we go to Images, I'm just going to take a look here at this. You know, you can pick any image that you want. And if I just see if I can, right here, copy image address. It's going to take that image for me. So again, I'm just right-clicking on the picture, copy image address, and I want to paste that image address in between these double quotes from my source. And it could look a little ugly, but there you go. Now I have this image here. And so notice it kind of screws my card up, but we'll come back and we'll fix that. All right, and we go to one more site, and let's do a CSS box shadow. This way you can get creative because you can basically Google anything. Let's Google CSS box shadow generator, and this is really cool. It's this CSS-matic one. Oh no, I don't know why that's happening. Doesn't matter. Try this one here. I'm doing the second one. The first one was blocking me. So we'll do this one right here. And so we can basically copy this code base here and bring it into our application so you can kind of play around with what you want your shadow to look like. You spread it real thin. You shift it down or up or over. So I'm going to put it behind. Make sure I get a little spread on every side. Just something like that, right? And then I can just copy this box shadow code right here. Oh. Shoot. I can't believe it let me do that. All right. I'm just going to highlight this, box shadow, and copy. And we're going to paste that inside of our container. I get this nice little box shadow effect on my card. Okay, now my image here needs some help. So I'm going to put a class on my image. I'm just going to call it skateboard image dot skateboard image. And let's do a height of 100 pixels. And there, it made it nice and small for me there. And I don't know, that's good enough for this. And maybe I want to make a better font for my paragraph here. So this is another way you can do a selector. So if I do just the P by itself, this means all paragraphs would have this type of font. And let's do font family. I don't even know, so let's Google it. CSS font family. You know, I like W3 Schools. This is a good resource. And I wonder if we can see some nice examples. Let's try Arial. Yeah, that's pretty cool. Gives you a different font there. If you wanted to do different font size, good. You could do like 10 pixels and it would make it a little bit smaller there. You could do 20 pixels and it's a little bit bigger. I think I'm going to do 14 pixels on that. And there you go. We've got this cool looking, and you've got the code here. And I can put this on Slack if yours gives you trouble, but pretend like the JavaScript isn't here. This is giving you all the code. Now you can start to play with it a little bit. And, you know, Google anything that you want, but you got this cool looking card here. And this could be like a feature on a bigger page, but now we're starting to put some styling to it, and that's a lot of fun to do.